Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Before we begin, please consider subscribing. We're 50 subs away from 1,000 and I'm trying to get 1K by the end of the year. Today, I will be covering the Field75HE from Newfie. This is a Hall effect version of the already existing mechanical Field75, with main differences being 8K Hz, Hall effect switches, and rapid trigger, along with SOCD coming at a bit of a later date, I believe. But in my opinion, the original Field75 has more appealing colorways. Outside of that, this is better than that in my opinion in every way. Immediately, you can tell this keyboard has a ton going on visually, and that definitely rings really true on the features as well. There's a ton of stuff packed into this board, and it comes out to a very premium experience overall. The board itself retails for 150 USD, with the stock switches that I have in the board right now, and an option available before checkout to get magnetic Jade switches instead if you want. Luckily, I already have an extra set of magnetic Jade switches to compare with myself, so I can give you a comparison of both here today. The stock switches are a magnetic white, which in all honesty are pretty damn good. To compare to the stock lacquer switches of the Wooting 60HE, the magnetic white switches in this board have way less stem wobble and are a lot more premium sounding overall as well. I will do a quick sound test of the stock config. It also has an automatic calibration for the two switches between the magnetic Jades and the white switches. All you have to do in their software is click the switch that you want to switch the config to, and then the reset button, and then everything should be configured from there. Comparing the stock white switches to Jades is actually really similar. They both have similar tolerances and sound profiles, with the Jades having a slightly better tolerance overall, and the whites having a bit more satisfying of a sound and feel. They both sound and feel really similar on this board, to where an extra $25 for the Jades I really don't think it's worth, and you should save your money. Moving on to the macro buttons, there are a total of 8, with the left side 4 being defaulted to media playback, and the bottom 4 here being F5 through F8. There is a dial on the left that is for volume, and sadly it is not remappable. I did suggest that they have the option to remap this because it is a very satisfying knob overall, and I feel like it would be pretty damn useful for other stuff. There is a dial here that makes the RGB brighter and darker when you turn it, and if you press it, it toggles it on or off depending on how you want it. There is a switch here to switch between the 3 onboard profiles you can configure in the software. All of the remappable macro keys here are really satisfying, and the only one that I can complain about is the switch here being a little bit too hard to move. It takes a ton of effort. The performance was pretty much what you'd expect for a Hall effect board in 2024. In game, it performs very well and comparatively to the rest of the other competition, but it advertising claims an 8K Hz polling rate. Rapid trigger is also implemented really well, and I didn't spot any quirks or issues with it in game, and my movement did feel pretty crisp. The build quality is pretty solid, with the entire top and bottom being ABS plastic. I would like to see a metal bottom and top frame for a bit more added weight. Not that it's super necessary because it doesn't slide on my desk around whatsoever, and it's already pretty hefty, and the plastic itself keeps the cost pretty low. I understand that a full metal case in this format would be really expensive. The wrist rest I have here is not included and is a separate purchase, but it's really rigid and it's showing no signs of wear over the time I've had it. Since it's acrylic and sometimes acrylic struggles with yellowing, I wanted to see if it would yellow in direct sunlight, so I left it on my windowsill upstairs for a couple days, and as you can see, there is no sign of yellowing whatsoever. So if you have natural sunlight at your desk, it should look like new for a long time. Now, I am going to end this video here. If you do have any questions, please leave them down below. And if you at all enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It's entirely free and I'm getting really close to 1K.